Yes, ladies and gents, we are back. Welcome back to another show. We are back with Lead Judges TV. It's myself, Lead Judges, and of course, Adrian. We're back for a Sunday night. And Colesberg almost did another weekend for us if Spurs would have lost. That was an unbelievable weekend of football. And we're going to talk about it. Obviously, today's title race Super Sunday game was an absolute thriller and one that we're going to discuss, as well as last night's last-minute Kai Havertz winner, which sent the Emirates into raptures. Adrian, how are you, my bro?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Very good. Yeah, great weekend. Yeah, great weekend for the Gunners. It's what we wanted, really, wasn't it? The results we
unbelievable,
perfect. Top of the tree. So we stay there.
Yeah, we need to, man. Make sure you do me a favor, people. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. There's over 130 of you already joined us in the first minute. That's amazing. It must mean Arsenal are doing something right. So please make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. And make sure that you support in the channel. Lee, weekend was a good one. Apart from Spurs, who tried to do their best to ruin things, but I don't really care about them. They're far enough away from us to have to worry about them for now. So, talk to me through your weekend, my bro.
Listen, I suppose the Spurs boys will be, all packed up.
They'll be back now. They'll be back. Henry have been moved in quick.
Furniture in, TV plugged in, Wi-Fi working. Sean would have got his hats and they'd be here on fucking Thursday. Listen, I'm going to be really honest with you. I've had a great weekend, but I didn't enjoy Saturday. I did not enjoy that for 101 reasons, and I'll give you a few of them. Every time they went forward, Brentford, I thought that they were going to score. Every time we went forward, I didn't think we was going to score. Aaron Ramsdale, I was hoping to go out with a bang. Whether that didn't happen, And I will say this about Aaron Ramsdale. People I've had people in my DMs going, well, what do you think of Ramsdale now then? And all that, I thought, well, blimey, talk about, back your man or whatever, Listen, David Raya could have done exactly the same thing against Man City. Sometimes you need a little bit of luck, And he didn't have the luck for that. And listen, he made absolutely 2 wonder saves after that, but it don't matter. Everybody's going to talk about that mistake, and that's the life of a goalkeeper, I'm afraid. But I tell you this now, he can look back with it with a little bit of pride, because yes, he messed up, but secondly, he made those 2 wonder saves. And if he doesn't make one of them saves, we might actually have lost that game. And at the end of it, I have to say, I think his mentality after that, boys, was incredible. A lot of people would have shrunk like a violet there, or whatever the saying is. I thought he'd done really, really well. But and I agree with Donna. Would have Raya made them saves? I don't think he would. But I tell you what, there ain't an argument about his kicking and all that. I do feel a lot more comfortable with Raya and his kicking. But I think that he's a shot stopper. And I think my mate Mark said yesterday when we was having a drink, he turned around and said, Raya ain't really there. He don't really need to be there for shots, because we don't really give away too many shots when he's in goal. So there's a little bit of that. I get that and everything like that. So listen, that was tough. I thought that was tough. But, it was just a relief to get over the line, because whatever happened today, if we'd have lost yesterday or dropped points and that would have been a draw today, how would we have felt today, boys? How would we have felt?
Missed opportunity.
Yeah. So it was so important to win that game. Got over the line. And do you know what? We've got to go and do it all again Tuesday. We've got to go and do it all again Tuesday. But, well, that's the life, I suppose, if you want to be at the top. But all in all, listen, I see bits of the game today because I was out for Mother's Day and all that. When City went 1-0 up, I thought, oh, look, I actually thought that Liverpool needed to score first for that draw to happen. But it didn't. They got back in it. And what I see of it, guys, I honestly felt that Liverpool deserved to win it. They were, I thought, brilliant, apart from in front of goal. I thought they missed a couple of really good opportunities.
They didn't take their chances, did they?
Didn't take their chances. And there was nearly, they could have won it, didn't they?
Luis Diaz, I mean, come on. Luis Diaz, how many chances does he need? I mean,
2 in a minute, didn't he? Had 2 in a minute.
Does everything right, didn't he, until the end?
Good, isn't it?
Listen, it was what I wanted.
Yeah.
I was more than happy. It was the result we wanted. and that topped off a really good weekend. It's been a great couple of days, I must say, and I do think people would have been a lot happier had Villa had taken something off the Spurs, but that result really don't matter to me, if I'm honest. I know that people will say that's big-headed and arrogant because we're not miles ahead of both those sides, but at the same time, that was the one I wanted, was the draw, because, I had someone text me today saying, "Oh, it's not a great result for Arsenal, is it? Not one of them taken out now. They're both still in it. All three of you go for it." I'm like, nah, I want both of them dropping points, man. What are you talking about? If Liverpool would have won that, it wouldn't have been good. And if City win it, it would have been the better of the two, in my opinion, because obviously what we'd spoken about before, Liverpool are probably going to drop less points in the coming games. I mean, I know this is football and anything can happen, but they got the easier fixtures. So you wouldn't have wanted it either way, really. Listen, it was a great game of football. It was two teams that are definitely deserving of the title race. And I think what we saw yesterday from Arsenal was the third team that are well deserving of it now. A lot of people have been saying, oh, when they're going to drop off, Arsenal are going to struggle with Champions League this year. It's not going to be title for them. It'll be top four race. And I think me and you judges went on record only around Christmas time saying, yeah, it looks like it's going to be top four this year when we'd lost to West Ham and Fulham and things weren't looking, getting dumped out of the FA Cup to Liverpool. And if it weren't for that Dubai trip, we really would be talking about that similarly. Who knows? We could be in the same position now, going our top four with Villa and Spurs. We have no idea what football can do. But one thing I will say is a lot of these players individually on Saturday night, and I'll start with you, Aid, really turned up individually and as a team. And I think, Aaron Ramsdale, Lee makes a good point. It was a bad error. A few people I spoke to said, it was the goal. It was the defence. Should never have passed it back to him. He's all the time in the world, man. Keep it going. Clear it or give it to Ben White or Saliba on your right-hand side. He's taking too long. Fair play to Visser. I thought him and Tony did what they could to try and bully the defence, but I didn't think they were. Me and Lee kind of saw things differently. I didn't think Tony and Visser were outstanding. I thought Gabriel and Saliba held their own and bullied them as best they could. But, they're good players, man. Very good centre forwards. And you got to gamble on stuff like that. But Ramsdale keeps us in the game and wins us the game, to be fair, when you look at it that way, by putting in two world-class saves. But I wanted to mention a couple of other players, not just the goalkeeper team, man. I thought Ben White, for me, unbelievable. Everything he was doing on that right-hand side was superb. And I must say, since Dubai, he's actually not just back to his best. I think he's some of the best football he's been playing in an Arsenal shirt. He's really, really gone forward. And he's flourished in this inverted role for him on the right back side. So I wanted to mention his performance. And of course, we got to mention together Kai Havertz, because he's won us the game, and a massively important game. And I must say, you look back at the goals he scored now. He scored an important goal against Luton, which got us across the lines for the Rice to get the winner at the end. He scored an important goal at Brentford away, which was to actually get us 3 points. Important Brentford at home to get us 3 points, and Brighton at home to get us 3 points. These are big games, and he set up the assist for Martinelli's goal at the Emirates against Man City. So we're talking about Kai Havertz now from August to November, not really doing too much, slow start, weren't sure if this was going to be a waste of money. You can't say it's been a waste of money January, February, March. The guy's been on really, really good form, electric form. So I wanted to start with those two players, man, Ben White and Kai Havertz, bro.
Well, how is he not in the England squad? Obviously, he must have pissed Gareth Southgate off, because, he's got to be in there, but he just doesn't get a look in, does he? But in a way, it benefits us, doesn't it? He was outstanding again yesterday. He's whatever. God knows what happened in Dubai, because it's just gone. Whatever they did, just keep doing it, because the whole squad, the whole team has been outstanding. And I also think it's pressure of players coming back as well. You've got to try and keep your shirt, haven't you, now? And our squad, that's the best squad we've had in the last couple of games. The best actual squad, on a match day that we've had for a very, very long time. They've got big players coming back, and as Lee will always say, you're playing for your shirt. But he had that dip in form. He wasn't playing terribly, but he just wasn't doing what he did, from last season. A lot of players weren't hitting the heights of what they did last season. But he's worked at his game. He's obviously, been coached how to play that inverted role. And that can't be easy. That takes time. And he's really stood up. I mean, that cross for Havertz's goal, 2 assists for him yesterday, wasn't it? But for the Havertz goal was outstanding, right on his head. And it bodes really well, isn't it? A lot of players are now finding their form in the business part of the season. And for us as Arsenal fans, this time last year we started to stutter, didn't we? And City closed that gap. But this year we look at a different animal. I can't really describe it. I know Roy Keane said it on Sky Sports, didn't he? He just said they look so much stronger around the whole squad. And I agree with him. We do look a much better outfit. I mean, Rice makes a massive difference, but our defence, another year on, older, more experienced, learned from what happened last year. And Ben White's, he seems like he's gone to another level, and because of that as well, Saka's gone to another level, isn't he? So our right-hand side is really dangerous again. Well, for Kai Havertz, I heard a stat today on Sky Sports that this is his best Premier League goal-scoring season. He wasn't setting the world alight when he first came here. But again, it's just credit down to the coaching staff and seeing something in that maybe we wouldn't. And he's worked hard at his game. You've got to think about the pressure he was under when everyone was giving him a lot of grief. Big price tag, wasn't performing. But now he's playing with more of a freedom, isn't he? He's got that pressure seems to have dropped from him, and he's now reaping the rewards of his performances. And he's going to be in the team for most weeks coming up. It's fair play to him, fair play to the coaching staff for getting him to this level. But like you say, he's coming up with big goals in big games. So yeah, fair play.
Yeah, I must say, Lee, listen, before I come to you, my bro, our friend is back. Our friend is back.
What's
Ronnie
up,
says,
Ronnie?
top of the league. Enjoy. It won't last long. Big up to Ronnie. Lee, I'll let you answer Ronnie. I mean, Ronnie's your mate. Do you know what I'm saying, sir?
Good old Ronnie, I'll say what, shouldn't you be celebrating your 4-0 win at Villa, you know what I mean? And but listen, top of the league. Some teams in North London can say that, and other teams can't.
That's a nice place to leave it, I'll tell you that. Judges, I know you're a massive fan of Ben White. He's one of your favourite players, and rightly so. He's been electric, mate. He really has. Since Dubai, he's been one of my favourite players to watch at the moment on this right-hand side. He's been phenomenal, and I think it's proven how comfortable he is on the football. That's the one thing I will say. I think the actual goal that we score, if Ben White is Ben White of old, I'm not so sure that we do. And the reason I say that is because he was overlapping, he was getting on the ball, he was bombing it forward, linking up with Martin Odegaard, who I thought had a really good game again. I think people underappreciate him sometimes. If he ain't scoring or assisting, how good he is. His work rate is phenomenal, mate. He just does not stop working, Odegaard. And a great cross again. This is another 2 assists for Ben White. And I think he's done that. He scored now against Sheffield United. Got a couple of assists and a couple of assists again today. He has been flying, mate.
Well, I'm going to say it now. His performances over the last couple of games have been better than what they were last season. I thought I didn't think he could get any better, and he has. I don't think he started this season. I don't know what was wrong with him this season. Whether he was just playing under orders a little bit, maybe reserving a bit of energy to go into the latter part of the season. I don't know, because the energy levels of him over the last sort of 3 or 4 games. It's no coincidence that when we played Sheffield United, off he comes. There's been a couple of games when we took him off because I think he's vital at this moment in time. I didn't realise, listen, I've loved Ben White, and I'll tell you why I like Ben White. I like him because of his dark arts to his game, because I'm one of those players I'm like that as well. I like that sort of side of it, you know what I mean? It gets on the skin of other.
Certainly was.
I like it when you irritate the opposition for whatever reason you do it, you know what I mean? You get a little smile on your face. He's got that in his locker. But I didn't realise what an actually good footballer he is. Now, I think he's probably the best defensive footballer in the team. Now, Saliba's very, very good, but I think Ben White could play in midfield. I think he's that talented. I think he's very, very good footballer. He's awareness when to pop it off, awareness to that. 3 or 4 times now in the last few games, he's mugged people off with little turns and flicks around the corner and all that. Very, very, very good player. When you're going about, he never played for England. Why Southgate's there? That's as simple as that. Because don't forget, you've got Trent out at the moment. You've got who's the other one that's out at the moment? Trippier's just got injured. He's not in the England squad. So they've only got Walker as a right back. They'll find someone else.
They'll put Conor Bradley in next. He'll be the next one.
Southgate going up there, but I think he's played for Ireland. But one of the others that come in with. Anybody.
Probably get one with Saka or something.
Yeah. If you're down the dog and duck scene, if someone can play there, in place of Ben. But listen, I think it's great that he's not going to play for us. I'm selfish. You know what I mean? That's why I got no time for Southgate, really, because he got left out of an England game and they played Dyer. That says it all. That says it all, like, you know what I mean? And I honestly think that that's what he done. He said, if you want to play Dyer in front of me, then I'm going. And like, I think probably they went, well, pack your bags, and he did. Great, like, you know what I mean? Well done, Ben. You know, if we ever done my, you know, like favourite all-time Arsenal 11, and I mean not the best 11, but my favourite all-time 11, he gets in it. He gets in there as my right back. We've got some great right backs, but that's not what we're talking about. Like, you know, he is he's my favourite ever right back. I think, along with probably Viv Anderson, was probably my second. But I just really love the way he plays football. I love that little bit of, you know, skullduggery, I'm going to call it. I love all that. And he's just at this moment in time, I don't think he can play any better than what he is at the moment. Like, you know, I thought he was fantastic yesterday. 2 assists. But no one's talking about that. You know what I mean? Like, old Trent has to bend the ball around 4 players, and like, you know what I mean? They've all got their willies out, like, you know what I mean, on the old pundits, aren't they? Like, but Ben White, two crosses yesterday. Not only the crosses, the first one was a little bit easier, but the second one he's had to run in behind, little 1-2, make the run, and then put in the perfect cross, guys. If you had a look at it again, it's perfect. You know what I mean? Like, really, like, you know, if I'm going to be really honest, the goalkeeper shouldn't get nowhere near it. I think, like, you know, Kai should have smashed that in a little bit better than he did, like, you know. So, listen, when he went
it first.
Huh?
I thought he saved it at first on the telly.
I thought he missed it at first, Dave. I did, like, you know what I mean? But brilliant from Ben White, and Dubai has done him the world of good. He's been on the old
back.
He's got a bit of sun on his body, on his back, and on his shoulders, and on his belly. Well done, Ben White. Absolutely superb.
Yeah, man.
Have you seen his videos?
Fantastic.
Sorry. So have you seen his interviews after games as well?
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, he's so funny. He's so dry. Like dry sense of humour. Goes up. We're pretty good at football, doesn't he?
And I didn't mind. Do you know what? I only come out and he said, like, oh, yeah, football ain't ready for me. Don't really know any of the legends around here. I thought, why has he said stuff like that? That was when he was brand new. I don't care what he says now. If he's playing like that on the pitch, mate, he's been phenomenal. I've been such a big fan of him. I really have. And this season, he had a bit of a strange start, but now he's absolutely flying. Listen, people, we nearly got 1,000 people in here. Make sure you do me a favour. Smash the like button, please, and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 40K, which is our next target. So I'm sure we can get there with your help, with all the people that are in here. So make sure you like the stream, people. I wanted to touch on Kai Havertz because he's a player that's definitely split opinion. And I put something out on my social media today about it because it feels like there's a lot of football fans, not just Gooners, that don't want to change their opinions on things. And, you know, I had Tobes text me yesterday, oh, what's all this about Havertz? He's finally scored a goal, finally doing what he should be doing for you. And Arsenal fans are wetting the knickers. Don't want to give him any credit. Now, I know I don't expect him to because he's a Spurs fan, right? But at the same time, I was one of those individuals that weren't sure about him. I had my concerns. What, 65 million? Is that really the best money spent in that position? He's playing in midfield. It ain't looking good for him. It's a slow start. Since Dubai, if we would have had that from the off for 65 million, boys, I'd have actually started to look at it and gone, cool, yeah, Arteta's getting something out of him here. What the hell was he doing at Chelsea? Now, he's not setting the world alight, and he's, for me, still got a long way to go. This ain't now he scored against Brentford finally. You know, in the last few games, he's got a couple of goals. Now it's all done, right? Brilliant. 65 million's a bargain now. I ain't going down that road. Some people are. But I don't really understand why you can't change your opinion in football. A lot of people feel if you do that, flip-flop, it's like a swear word, isn't it? If you get called a flip-flop. Don't call me a flip-flop. Don't you dare call me. I think they'd rather you call us see next Tuesday. I don't get it. Just say, I now think Kai Havertz is playing well. I didn't think he was before. Oh, crime. What a crime that is.
Yeah.
Very bizarre. I don't know how it works. I don't understand it. But it does in football. People get things wrong, or people don't get things wrong, and they want to look at it a bit longer. Some people are still there now. Nah, I'm still not sure about him. It's weird,
a broken clock is always right twice. You know,
there you go, mate. There you go, mate.
It's such a great, great saying that, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. You can turn around and go like oh yeah, Havertz is good. I've told you so. You'll get all the ones that go, I told you so. At the end of the day, it's your opinion, and your opinion is what matters to you. You've stuck by it. But what I've always admired about you is that when you've been wrong, I'm not saying you are wrong. You know what I mean? Like, or you hold your hand.
We've all got wrong, haven't we? We've all got
Of course
stuff
we
wrong.
are, because that's what football. That's what makes football fantastic. But you turn around and go, do you know what? I've got it wrong. And there's nothing wrong with that, like, you know what I mean?
There's some people that don't do that. There's some people that don't do that. I don't get it. I don't get that at all. And I've seen that a couple of times today, yesterday. Still think he's crap, or don't understand what the big malarkey is about. No one's saying he's world class now. All we're saying is, show what, he's done all right, hasn't he, the last few games? He's looking good. He's got 4 in 4. He's starting to assist. I definitely was right about moving him forward, by the way. I don't like seeing him in this number 8 role. I don't think that's for him at all. But when he's causing a nuisance of himself, when he's in and around a box, he causes havoc, mate. And I don't think he's going to go win us the league by scoring 30 goals, but I certainly will give him the credit he deserves, because I think he's been really good in the last few. And a lot of people are saying he's one of the first names on the team sheet. Now, I'm not so sure I go that far, but at the same time, in terms of his level of importance and his contribution, you can't really deny that he's been a massive, massive part of what we've been doing in the last few games since Dubai. Now, at the start of the season, I mentioned already some of the games that he has scored. You look back at those goals now, Aid. Luton, we won 4-3. Brighton, we beat them to 3-1, and that was the third goal to kill it off. Obviously, Brentford was 1-0, 3 points. Brentford yesterday was 2-1, another 3 points. These are important goals now. So I'm not like, he scored the 4th goal of the 5-0 against Sheffield United. He scored the 5. You know what I mean? He scored the 5th goal against West Ham. Whoop-de-doo. He scored the 6th against Burnley. Whoop-de-doo. This ain't that anymore, man. This is him contributing, but also he's actually scoring important goals as well, which, let's be real, is essentially why we bought him, mate.
Well, yeah, we spend a lot of money, but football fans are very fickle. If you don't look like you're playing very well, then you're going to get grief. But look at what he's actually doing. It's not just about his goals; it's what he's doing for the team. He's creating space, creating chances. He's a handful, isn't he? And he occupies centre halves when he's up top. He's big, he's strong. His touch, actually, is outstanding. He's got really good feet. And he's not the only player to ever come into Arsenal and be like, oh my God, he's no good, and then has gone on and had a really good career. I mean, look, I'm not saying he's any Dennis Bergkamp, because there's never going to be a player like him again. But when he came into the team, when he signed for Arsenal, everyone was saying, we spent $8.5 million, which back then was probably about 60 odd million now. And he weren't setting the world alight. But you coming into a new team, you've played a certain way with Chelsea. He's coming into a new system at Arsenal, and you've got to give credit to Arteta and the team, haven't you? Really, because football just doesn't turn on a whim. It's hard work, and especially when you're coaching different ways, and especially like in Dubai, where they've gone out there and they've looked at it and go, right, we need a plan A, B, and C, and he's a massive part of us playing differently. And like I say, that 60 odd million price tag is starting to fade away now. And what I like about him, I said it earlier, didn't I? He's playing with no pressure on his shoulders now, because he's in form. He knows the players. He knows what to do when the ball goes forward or wide. He knows all the triggers now, and that takes time in training. And it's not learned overnight, even for professional footballers. And he's contributing along with all the others. And he's a big reason why we scored so many goals recently. And actually, yesterday, he's popped up in the last couple of minutes of the game, and he's won us the game. But for me, it ain't all just about goals. You've got to look at what his overall performance is in a football match. A lot of people will think about, okay, we've paid all that money for a forward, he's got to score 30 odd goals a season. But his contribution off the ball, on the ball, creating chances, good passing, he's really coming good, and he's only going to get better. He will get better now. And as Arsenal fans, we're all saying, he's not doing it. What is wrong with being proven wrong? You want that, right? You don't want to be proven right by, he's crap, he's playing, he's poor again.
I think there's a difference. Just come in. I think there's a difference there as well, because there is some people that don't want that. That's my point. There's some people that don't want that. They want to be right all the time. Whereas most of the time, if you're saying, for example, I think Arteta's the right guy, I think Havertz is absolutely shocking and we had not got the minerals to get us across the line, I can either be wrong and be happy because Arsenal have won it, or I can be wrong and be like, oh my God, this is a disgrace. I was right. I still don't believe I was wrong on it. And I do think there is a certain section that are like that. I do, because I've seen some on social media, and I've seen some football fans, neutral fans as well, sort of just not having it that, I use the example of Richarlison the other day. He scored 8 in 8 the other week or whatever. I still don't look at him and go, wow, but I could look at him and go, cool, yeah, at least he's actually improving his form as far as Spurs are concerned. There's a difference there. Some people go, rubbish, don't want him anywhere near my team. Yeah, that's different. I didn't ask you that. You've got to actually look at it, use the eye test. Do you know what I mean? And say, actually, he's playing a bit better now. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, maybe it's a bad example because I don't actually rate Richarlison, but you get what I'm saying. Like, you actually got to look at you with your eyes and go, cool, ain't he starting to improve now? Ain't he starting to contribute now? Ain't this looking better now? And I don't know, there's some people out there that don't seem to want to do that, and I find that bizarre.
I don't get it. The thing is, Dan, you weren't wrong. You know, he wasn't performing at part of the season. Football's about here and now, isn't it? But, you know, I'm glad we're wrong because he's, you know, you've got to remember, he's a world-class player, if you like, as in, you know, international play. You know, he's no mug. And, you know, he's come in and under a lot of pressure, and you could tell he was under pressure when he was playing. You know, he looked like he had, you know, lead feet on, didn't he? He was struggling. But I'll give you an example. I'm around my mum's today, and I said to Mum, what do you want to watch on telly? I said, Mate, have you seen the Arsenal documentary, All or Nothing? And we watched the first episode. And, you know, when we lost 3 games in a row at Brentford, Chelsea and City, and I was thinking to myself, like, kind of like Kai Havertz, you know, Arteta, he was under so much pressure then, you know, to perform. Everyone was calling for his head to go. You know, he's not big enough to run this club. And it just proves, doesn't it, that people do need time in this game, and especially when you're playing at the elite level in the Premier League, it's about being patient and, you know, trusting in your staff. And, you know, look where Arteta's taken us now. And it's no different when players come in, you know. He's not the only Arsenal player in the last couple of years that have come in who haven't set the world alight, but have gone on and contributed well. You know, it's football's not an easy game, and coaching and playing at that level. I mean, Lee will tell you, you know, Lee played at a decent level, even at semi-pro. It's just as hard down there. You know, you go into a team that plays a different system. You've got to learn that system, and then it's like bad habits kick in from what you've been doing in your old team. And you know, I'm pleased we're all wrong because, you know, he's an Arsenal player. We've got to back him. And the fact is, he's coming good.
Ramsdale as well. You know, Aaron Ramsdale. I know it's not a weird time to bring this up, but when he came in, everyone was like, "Do not want him from Sheffield United. Calamity."
Yeah, he got pelters, didn't he?
He got pelters, you know. Even Ben White, 50 million for him. He's playing for Brighton. What the hell are we doing? It has happened a few times under this manager. Now, don't be wrong, he's got it wrong as well. Or a couple of signings from him and that have been shocking, right? But you look at it and you think the ones that we actually did look at and go, "Oh, I want him," have actually turned out to be good. And I think Kai Havertz maybe, if he continues his form, I mean, listen, if we win a trophy with him, you can't sit there and say it's been a flop, can you? Certainly not a flop now, in my opinion, Lee. Certainly not. A flop.
No, listen, I just want to bring up the Arsenal fans. I think that they've backed Havertz fantastically well. Some people have gone up on that, but in that stadium, they've backed him with the song and everything like that. And he must have walked up. If that was me, right, I know this is silly. This is what I would have done yesterday. Like, you know, when that song was singing, like, you know, I would have gone in the tunnel and just sat in the tunnel and just sat down and just listened to it. Because it was breathtaking, like, you know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't have wanted to be gloating over it and all that, like. But I'd have just gone into the tunnel so no one could see me. Put myself there and just said, "That is fantastic." Because I don't care. I know he's won trophies at Chelsea and all that. He never had that. He never had that, like, you know what I mean? I'll be honest, and I'm going to be really honest with Ramsdale. I think that the support that he's got, the players, they've been backed, and that yesterday when that song was going, you know, this is Brentford, by the way. This is you know, not one of the elite teams and that. Everybody was staying there last night, you know what I mean? Like singing the song and all that. Like, it was just fantastic. And you know, he really, and even Declan Rice, I don't know if you noticed it when they started singing Ice Ice Baby wanted to get off quickly, like, because I don't think they want.
He hates it, doesn't he?
They want all that, but no, they love it, really. You know what I mean? But at the end of it, you know, I love to see a photo of Declan and Kai Havertz at one end of the tunnel, just listening to that, like, going, yeah, like, I love this, because I think we've backed them fantastically well. The atmosphere in that ground yesterday, guys, was unbelievable. When that goal went in, you know, I was just going. I lost it. I did. I was going absolutely mad. You know what I mean? Like, it was just fantastic, you know. And I think Kai Havertz has done really, really well. But I will say that he's had two good things going for him. He's had the manager backing him 100%, because probably he has to, because of the price tag and whatever. And the fans, I think, have been on his side all the way, you know. And that's fantastic. Kai Havertz, you know, for me, I said, and it's not. I'm not one of these people that gloats about things or whatever like that, you know. When they go, who do you want to score today? Kai Havertz. Why? Because I just want him to prove everybody wrong every single time he plays, you know what I mean? Banging in goals and all that, like, you know. And you know,
I wanted him yesterday, get the winner, and when he did, I was really happy. I went mental as well. And you know what, Lee? Well, I'll say it because I said it to Robbie yesterday. The thing that impressed me the most, away from the players, away from the coach, himself and the manager, was us lot. Because when we went to 1-1 and Ramsdale put that in, it weren't like, we're going to bless this up. I didn't hear anyone screaming in my ear saying, get Ramsdale out, he's useless, get Raya back in. I didn't hear any of that. Now, I'm not saying that we should have that, but I tell you, under Wenger, I've heard that before, and under Emery, I've heard that before. So there's something different about the telepathy with the fan base and the players as it connects somehow. And I think it's a little bit more get behind them as opposed to go against them. And I know fans should always be like that, but they ain't always. And yesterday, they just felt like a little bit of belief, Lee, that we were going to win the game. It was like, you know what I mean? I didn't see anyone around me going, this is it, we're going to bottle it here, this is going to be another Southampton like last year, this is the game, blah, blah. Nothing. It was all just, I still fancy us somehow. You know what I mean?
It's a great point. And one of the things that I think about it was that with yesterday is that I wanted Arsenal to win for myself as well, as, you know what I mean, like, because I'm a supporter and all that, like. But when that goal went, I was so pleased for Aaron Ramsdale, because if that would have not gone the other way, do you imagine how it would have felt for him, like, you know? So it was, and I think the players wanted to do it as well. I see the players going up to him afterwards, you know, we've got your back and all that, like, and it's what you want from your football club, you know. And I think the atmosphere, it's great, and it's seeing you, like, you know, I see how big Russ is in the comment. I'm glad you're all right, Russ, after yesterday. Like, you know,
big up, Russ.
He had a few.
He had a few.
He said, like, he had a few beers. But listen, isn't it great when you walk out I'll tell you what, one of the greatest things yesterday for me was when I walked out the ground, there's people singing along the streets, like going mad, everybody happy and all that. I've walked out of that stadium where it's been very, very toxic. You know what I mean? For a very, very long while, you know. But I cannot wait to get back in there on Tuesday. Even though I'm going to go through all that, what I've gone through on Saturday, I'm going to go through it again. I'm absolutely buzzing for it. But when you come out of that ground and you see everybody celebrating, and there's no animosity between anybody like there has been in the past, you know, it's just fantastic. The Emirates now is a wonderful, wonderful place to go. And you have to give the manager credit for that. And I honestly think there's a lot of people that slag off Arteta and all that, like, don't experience that. I really do. I'm not being, like, arrogant when I say that and all that, like, because not everybody can go to the games. But when you're going to the games and you're seeing what's happening, it's a pleasure. I've gone into away games, Dan, when it's been very, very toxic, very, very toxic. The arse of Wenger in and out, and it was very, very nasty at times. There was a times when you're thinking, do we really want to go this? You only had to say the wrong thing, and people were arguing and, you know, and having a go at each other. It's not like that no more. It's fantastic. And, you know, Russ is right. The players are feeding off the atmosphere of the fans and all that, like, you know. And look at it, like, yesterday, like, I've players walking around the whole pitch. You know what I mean? Like, we were lucky if we got one or two do that. You know, fantastic.
Absolutely, it is, man. Absolutely, it is. Listen, let's do a like check. We've got 1,150 people in here, and we've only got 200.
Thank you, lads. That's unbelievable.
Listen,
Thank
unbelievable,
you very much.
unbelievable. But we have only got 273 likes, so let's
Well,
get them up.
That's crap.
That is the poor part.
What are you doing?
Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. And if you do want one of these beautiful canvases behind us, then Russ is in the chat. Make sure that you go to Russell Hogg Photography at hotmail.com. Email him, say you're a gooner. Dan Potts and Lee Judges sent you, and he'll sort you out one of these behind you. Done in all colours as well and all different effects. So make sure you get hold of one of these people because they're magnificent. Aid, big game on Tuesday. Don't stop, does it? We, at the moment, look like our left-hand side might need a little bit of a question mark on it because I've been told Martinelli is out for longer than he might miss Tuesday. That's what I've been told today. I don't know if that's true. No idea. Apparently left on crutches, so it ain't looking good for him. I don't know if it's like long-term, but I don't think he's going to be back for Tuesday. It might be, might surprise. If he ain't, I started keeping in my chat earlier saying that they play Zinchenko and Jesus on the left because of the Champions League experience. Would you mess about with that? Would you leave Kivior in? Would you leave Trossard in? What would you do for the team news on Tuesday, mate?
I'm not sure. I mean, look, we're 1-0 down, but we're playing at home, and I think our record against Porto, isn't it? When we played the second leg, we've trounced them, haven't we? Especially at home. Oh, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because it depends on what system Arteta wants to play, doesn't it? Because if he wants to play the inverted role, our best player for that is Zinchenko, isn't it? If he wants to play them more like he played yesterday, more sort of a 4-4-2 sort of formation, or 4-5-1 as we played a little bit yesterday, I don't think you mess about it. But Martinelli is a loss, and I think we're very lucky on the other side with Saka. Barely gets injured, but on the left-hand side when Martinelli is out, we do. We're not as efficient out there, are we? But I don't know, because Porto are going to come to us, and they've got the towels up. They're going to put it to us. It'll be very similar to yesterday's game, I think. And I think what really wins us the game, I think the crowd have a massive part to play on Tuesday. And under the lights, Champions League, the crowd right up for it. And if Arsenal start quickly and score early, they're likely to go on and get a few more. But to answer your question, I'm not so sure really. Kivior's, that long ago, the Fulham game, so what is he doing? And again, he's another player that's flourishing again, isn't it? So I don't know. Depends what system he plays. If he's going to play the inverted role, you'd play Zinchenko, but I don't think he will. I think he'll stick with Kivior. Who do you play on the left? I mean, I feel a bit sorry for old Reece Nelson, to be fair. No, I think he.
Listen, he came on.
When he come on.
He came on and changed the game yesterday. I thought the substitutions were spot on yesterday. Listen, I'll play Kivior to start off with, but that game needed Zinchenko coming on to open things up, because when they were putting their blocks in, he hasn't got that trickery. He hasn't got that little bit of class because he's a central defender. In fairness. So I'll do the same thing. Keep it tight, make sure we don't concede, and then let the players play. And then if it does become that we need to open it up, then you bring on the likes of Zinchenko.
Who would you play on the left, Lee? Who would you play, Trossard or Jesus on the left wing?
I'll play Jesus, if I'll be really honest. That's who I play. I said that on the last time. It's hard on Trossard. But I think that Trossard's very, very good. But I think that you need that little bit of pace on the wings. I think Trossard plays better when he's down the middle. But listen, I think Martinelli will be fine. I think, he took a knock.
I've heard it's a cut and it was stitches, so it's not like ligaments, muscles, nothing like that. And the reason that crutches were mentioned is because they're waiting for it to heal. We don't want to put any weight on it. That's what.
Listen, they all do that. It's all precaution. All come out in a boot.
Yeah, all precaution. That's the word. That's what I'm looking for.
You know what I mean? So they always do that. First 24. Listen, when we had them that, you had to go work the next day. These boys ain't going to work. You know what I mean? I tell you what happens. You get picked up. You get picked up. He won't have to drive. He won't have to use his clutch. You know what I mean? Because I've got automatics now. But he won't have to do nothing like that. He'll be driven everywhere. Yeah. I'll be very, very surprised if he's not playing. If he's not, it's Jesus for me. But
You missed him yesterday, I felt.
Massively.
There was that ball that Ramsdale threw out. Brilliant ball from Ramsdale. He throws it out. Trossard gets on it. I love Trossard, but that electric pace, I think Martinelli has. He would have been through there.
Yeah, I agree. And I listen. I think Martinelli now is becoming one of the most unappreciated players in the Premier League, because when he's not playing, right, everybody's going. Like, for instance, they done a thing on, I don't know what it was, you know, that when they do these 11s and all that, like they put Saka over to the left so they could get Saka and Salah at the same side. Like, you know, no, you don't play on the left, Saka. You play on the right. Martinelli plays on the left, and he does it better than anybody. Like, you know. So, listen, I'm a massive fan of him. So, you know, he gets away with murder sometimes when it comes to me. I'm not going to lie, but I like his enthusiasm, like the way he runs, and I felt he was missed yesterday because he is a little bit more direct than everybody else.
Yeah,
well,
I agree with that.
Name me a Premier League player plays on the left who's like him. There aren't many.
No,
I've said it before, and people disagree with me. I think he's the best left winger in the Premier League. I'd have him over Rashford. I'd have him over Grealish. I've had him over Mitoma. I'd have him over Luis Diaz. Who else is there? That Doku. I'd have him over quite a lot, to be honest. I'd have him over Richarlison and whoever the hell Spurs have got on the winger. I'd have him over Leon Bailey. Yeah, I'd have him over anyone, man. I love Martinelli. Absolutely love him. But Lee, before we let you go, obviously Tuesday we need a team talk, and I had a really good team talk today.
Today, these big battle win and they're relegated today, right? So at the end of the day, they're up for it, right? I ain't saying too much more, they're bottom of the fucking league. If you fucking lot come in here fucking losing this fucking game, I'll tell you that now, at half time or at the end of the game, I'll tell you that.
Yes, Andy, I love it.
Do you know what? That was a time. I'll tell you when that was. We played a team down the bottom of the league. We was top, or right up there, going for it, like. And you remember Clive, didn't you? Come in, he goes, "I've just done the warm up. They're fucking not up for it, Lee. They're not up for it. I'm telling you that now. They're not up for it. You've got to get onto them. You've got to get onto them." And I can't remember who Arsenal were playing Liverpool or someone. It was on a team. We just conceded a goal, and I got fucking right angry over it. So I said, right, get myself wound up, and then went in there and anyway, it worked because we won 5-0. There you go.
Mate, I saw that today. I won't tell you who sent it to me. No, I think you know who sent it to me. But mate, I saw that and I thought, at least he don't change.
No, listen,
that's tame. I'll tell you that now. That is tame.
Yeah, that was tame.
They lost. Oh, my word.
I've been in that chamber when we lost. It's not nice.
Yeah. I'll tell you another a little quick one before I go. That little story I done. I don't know if you was in the one when we done that. Was we was playing really bad one time, and I had a player play for me, Kane. Like, you know, he was a good guy, captain and all that. Bit of a thing and all that. And he's a great lad. And as we were walking in the dressing room, I think we was losing. We was losing 1-0. And I pulled him to the side and I said to him, right, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to start saying something, right? And I want you to go back off, Lee, like that, right? And I'm going to grab you, right?
I remember this.
Do you remember that? I'm going to grab you, chuck you out the dressing room, right? Yeah. And then we just listen to what they say, right? You know what I mean? So I've gone into the dressing room, started out, and he's gone like, fuck off, Lee. I've gone, you grab him and pulled him outside, like, right? And me and him just sat outside, like, you know what I mean? And he's going, what do you want to do? They're going, listen, this will work. Don't worry about that, like, you know what I mean? So we're like that. Don't you dare fucking have a go at me no more now. Get your ass in there. And if you lose this game, don't you ever come back to this club again, right? So he shut down. We ended up winning 2-1. And like what people were saying, which was why I done it, was if I could bring him out and do that, others would do it. But it was all planned. It was all planned and all that. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, that works. Sometimes it don't work. You know what I mean? But sometimes you just feel you have to do something different. Like, you know what I mean? So
love it, man. I love it.
Well, I must say, when we did win, it was good fun, wasn't it? You know.
Oh yeah, I made sure that when we won, even when we
done, team knew it, didn't they?
Yeah, we had their own songs and we made up songs, and even with the youth, when we done the youth team and all that, like eventually we went on done like my boys team and all that. We got them all doing all the same. They loved it, didn't they? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the County Cup semi-final when we beat Broxbourne, brilliant.
Yeah, like yeah.
All led by you, Lee. All led by you.
yeah. There you go. Like. And I'd say what, like, you know, and I'm very placid away from football. There you go, like.
I know. Well, listen, my mum just said, "Lee, do you shout at Michelle like that when she overcooks your roasties?"
No, you've done it again. I'm never, you know.
Love it, man.
I've heard Michelle go off on one. Yeah,
I've heard Michelle go off on one. It was hilarious. Hearing Michelle go off on one was actually as funny as Lee, to be fair.
She's brilliant. Oh,
she is class, mate. Absolutely class. Listen, judges, I know you got to go because you got to go.
Shoot, yeah, no problem.
I'm let you go. The rest of the show, yeah. Me and Ada will close the show. Legend, mate. Take it easy, bro. We'll see you next time.
There you go. Nice mate.
And then there was two. Aid, let's quickly talk very, very quickly about the title race because Manchester City and Liverpool drew today. Gary Neville said on his podcast earlier, this is a situation now where when he was at United, when Overmars scored in 1998 and Will Todd scored in 2002, it shocked the whole of Old Trafford. He thinks that we have to do that again at the Etihad this time if we want to go win the league. What's your thoughts on that, mate?
No, I agree. You know, it's we haven't had much fun up there, have we? And the thing is, they're so experienced, and you know, certain players are back. What's key for me is De Bruyne, isn't it? You know, we've got, because he tore us apart last year. You know, he was, and I mean, Haaland was great, wasn't he? But it's you know, even today, you just see the brilliance in him. He's just, you know, he's one of the best players in the world, and I don't know how we're going to keep him quiet. I just hope. I think Declan Rice will probably do the job on him. You know, what a matchup, isn't it? You know, and I've said it and I'll say it again. I never did know Declan Rice was this good. So, what a big game for us, really. You know, because if we are going to stop them and beat them, it's going to be, you've got to stop him. Because, you know, don't get me wrong, Foden. You know, they've got some unbelievable players, and you know, this is their territory, isn't it? You know, this is the time of year we say every year. You know, they go on this run, and you know, they don't lose. We've got to go there. This is our best chance, I think, in a very long time. I think when we went there last year, I don't think Saliba played. You know, and like I said earlier, Roy Keane said it on Sky today, and he never says it. You know, he always says that Arsenal have got a bit of a weak backbone and all that lot. And to be fair, we've proven him right, haven't we, in the past? But I just, you know, looking at that game yesterday I said to you, didn't I? Text you, and Lee said it on his channel yesterday. It was a game we needed, I think, because, you know, where we've been smashing teams and, you know, walking all over teams, yesterday was one of those games where we would have lost a couple of years ago or would have drawn. And, you know, it's the mentality of the side, it's the learning, isn't it? Their learning experience as you get older. You become more experienced, and you know, this is the last massive hurdle for us as a football club, is to go there, you know, go there and do what Wenger did that time. You know, when we beat him 2-0, and Santi Cazorla was just out of this world.
Out of this world. Him and Giroud, yeah,
outstanding. And I'm looking at that today, and you know, Liverpool for me, you know, dominate that game. But you always knew when City got it, you know, they're going to do something. And I was sitting there watching with my mum, and it's like, oh, they're going to do it. They're going to nick it because, you know, they're that good. But then I started thinking about us when we went to Anfield. And the last two times we've been up there, we've we've Liverpool. You know, we've you know, and we're not coming away with a win. We've drawn both games, but City at times yesterday today were. Yeah, you know, Liverpool were running right through them. And like I said, if they get a striker that can put the ball in the back of the net, they're winning 2 or 3-0 at half time. So, you know, back to us at City, it's I mean, it's a while away, and it's a couple of weeks, and I'm getting nervous already because
same.
That's exactly the same position we were last year. obviously not points wise. You know, we you know, it's even closer. I don't know what's good. Is it, you know, if you're 5 or 6 points clear, or you're just in the pack and just behind. And there's different pressures, isn't it? When you're being chased down, or considering what we're doing, we're looking up, well, looking down at today because we're top. But we're a good side, you know. In fact, we're better than good. You know, there's a solidness in our team. You know, defensively, we're the best team in the league. Defensively, I think we're the best team in Europe. You know, defensively. And we've got to be at our best defensively. Off the ball is going to be absolutely key for us. Our retention has got to be up there, and we've got to be winning the ball higher up the pitch. Because if we're not, that means De Bruyne is getting room in between the lines. And there were times today where they were passing in between the lines of the Liverpool's back line in the midfield, and he had a lot of room. So yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? You know, City at home, they've been there, done it. We've been up there, and we've crumbled, and we've lost. I can't wait for it. It's gonna be brilliant, but I'm nervous now. Really nervous.
Yeah, mate. I am as well. I think everyone's nervous, but at the moment, my focus is on Tuesday night. I'm going to leave this super chat before we do close. If Arsenal win against Porto, we'll have a lot of games in April. Should we prioritise the Champions League or the Premier League? Listen, we've got to do both. We can't be looking at putting all our eggs in one basket. That's just not how it works. There's 4 competitions. We're only in 2 of them. So we got to be going. We got to be going for both of them now, and using this squad with these players coming back. And I think we've got a squad that's that should be okay to the end of this season with those 2 competitions. With Timber coming back, Zinchenko and Jesus back now, Partey back now. There's only really Timber and Tommy Acid that's out at the moment. So let's get them guys back and let's really give it a go, because on Tuesday it's a massive, massive game. And let me get a prediction from you, Aid, before we do close. What are you going for Tuesday night?
I think we'll turn them over. It all depends on how we start. We've got to start quickly, and we tend to do that in the European games, don't we? Under the lights at home, especially when there's a bit of pressure on. Yeah, I think we'll. I hate saying it because when you're wrong, you're like, oh no, you've jinxed it, but no, I think we'll turn out 3-0, maybe 3-1. I don't know. I think we'll go through. It just depends how we start. Porto, they're a cunning team, aren't they? They're quite strong. They'll put it on us. And it will be down to our creative players, Odegaard, Havertz if he plays. It's an important role. And Rice, obviously, in front. What he's doing for us going forward is outstanding. But at home, under the lights, Champions League, with the side that we got, we should be turning them over quite easily. You've got to remember we only lost in the last second of the game, didn't we, at Porto? And we looked comfortable. I know they were probably the better side on the night, but we didn't look like we were going to lose the game by 2 or 3, did we? So if we start well and play well, we'll win on Tuesday. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Listen, I'm looking forward to it as well. I've gone 3-0, so hopefully we will get the job done. Listen, people, do me a favour. Smash a like on this if you haven't done so already. Let's get us up to 500 or 600 likes before we leave the stream. Subscribe to the channel as well if you can. And don't go anywhere. You'll be redirected to me. I've got a Q&A session now on my channel, All Things This Weekend. So make sure that you come and join me over there. Get your questions in so that when I join, we can answer them together and go through all things football this weekend. Aid, thanks so much for coming on, bro. Much appreciated as ever. We'll see you next time, my friend. And up the Arsenal. We are top of the league.
Top of the league.
Top of the league. Take it easy, people. We're out of here.